How to talk to anyone, mastering social success. Narrative style expert summary based on Leil Lowndes' classic guide. Section 1, The Social Code, Unlocking the Power of First Impressions. In the realm of human connection, the first few moments can define the entire interaction. Leil Lowndes opens the doors to the subtle art of making people like you before you even speak. The secret isn't in your words, it's in your presence. Imagine walking into a room, not as someone trying to prove themselves, but as someone who already belongs. Lowndes calls it the big baby pivot, the moment you shift your body towards someone, eyes warm and posture relaxed, as though they are the most important person in the room. It's the silent hello that resonates louder than any greeting. But it doesn't stop there. Your smile timed just a second after eye contact isn't just a gesture, it's an affirmation. It says, "I see you. And I like what I see." This technique, referred to as the flooding smile, is one of the earliest tools in your conversational toolbox. Then, there's the sticky eyes method, holding eye contact just long enough to make someone feel seen, but not judged. It's not a stare, it's a gaze of sincere interest. Combine that with the epoxy eyes technique in group settings, where you maintain eye contact primarily with the person you want to connect with, and suddenly, you've created an invisible thread of intimacy. Every motion, every glance, every smile is a conversation in itself. Section 2, The Icebreaker's Edge, What to Say Without Saying Much. Let's step into the moment right after you've captured their attention. What next? Leil Lowndes warns us about the most common trap, meaningless small talk. To truly captivate, you must learn the art of conversational choreography. Instead of defaulting to "what do you do," which can often feel cold or transactional, Lowndes suggests a pivot to the "you first" approach, inviting people to share what they love to talk about. Try questions like, "What keeps you busy these days?" or "What's been the highlight of your week?" This shift from job titles to passions unlocks a deeper level of connection. And when you do talk, speak in what she calls the grapevine style drop-in mentions of shared experiences or common acquaintances. This makes others feel like they are already in your inner circle. Want to be unforgettable? Learn the parroting technique. Repeat the last few words of someone's sentence as a question. It shows active listening and encourages elaboration. For example, "I just got back from Thailand." Thailand. "Yeah, I went hiking in Chiang Mai." Chiang Mai. With minimal words, you've drawn out a story. Section 3, Conversational Charisma, The Invisible Threads of Connection. By now, you've started a conversation. But how do you make it flow? The secret lies in the swiveling spotlight. Instead of hugging the limelight, you shift it towards others. Ask open-ended questions. Respond with authentic curiosity. Use Lowndes' formula of the latest, the greatest to share current experiences paired with enthusiastic reactions. Also key, never ask the deadly dozen, those overly personal or cliched questions that freeze conversations. Instead, use free information cues. If someone says they went to a concert, ask which artist or what the experience was like. It's about picking up the breadcrumbs they naturally leave in conversation. Want to sound like a natural storyteller? Master sound bites. Instead of saying, "I work in marketing," say, "I help brands find their voice in a noisy world." Use vivid imagery. Paint pictures with your words. Tone matters, too. Speaking slightly slower and lower in pitch projects confidence. Silence used wisely is a powerful punctuation mark. Section 4, Magnetic Listening, How to Make People Feel Like Stars. Listening, truly listening, is the most seductive thing you can do in a conversation. Lowndes introduces the idea of "be a word detective." Listen for emotional cues. If someone says, "It was a bit stressful," dig deeper, not by prying, but by offering a safe space. "Stressful? That sounds tough. What happened?" Then there's the magical art of echoing emotions. Don't just respond to facts, respond to feelings. Someone says, "I finally got promoted." Don't just say "congrats." Say, "Wow, that must feel amazing after all your hard work." And never underestimate the impact of a "let me finish" pause. Don't rush in. Let them complete their thoughts fully. People often reveal their truest selves in the second part of their sentence if you let them. Section 5, Body Language and Social Synchrony, Communicating Beyond Words. Conversation is only half verbal. The rest? Your body. Lowndes dives deep into nonverbal fluency. One cornerstone is the Hansel and Gretel trail. Leave small, enticing personal details through body language: how you lean in, how your hands gesture, how your feet point. Are they turned toward the door or the person? This speaks volumes. Mirror people not overtly, but subtly. It's called empathic echoing. If they touch their face, you eventually do the same. If they lean in, you follow. This isn't mimicry, it's subconscious bonding. Even your walk matters. The hello goodbye walk makes you appear magnetic. Walk like you have a destination, like someone is waiting for you. It signals importance and confidence. When sitting or standing with someone, use the slow MO technique. Slow, deliberate gestures create the aura of calm power. Section 6, Winning over groups, crowds, and strangers. Whether you're at a networking event, a party, or a business meeting, navigating groups is a next-level skill. Start with a what's it strategy. Carry or wear something unique: a pin, a quirky bag, a conversation-sparking accessory. It invites comments. It breaks the ice for others. In a crowd, approach groups with confidence using the tracking technique. Find someone whose gaze lingers on you, approach them first. It's a sign of openness. Once inside a group, apply the triangular gazing method. Look at one person, then shift your eyes to the second and third. It's like you're anchoring the group with your attention. Want to be remembered? Use name showering. Mention people's names during the conversation. Not excessively, but enough to make each person feel recognized. Section 7, Closing Connections, Creating Lasting Bonds. The end of a conversation is as important as the beginning. It sets the tone for what comes next. Lowndes recommends the come hither close. End with a teaser: let's finish that story over coffee next time. Or I'll tell you the rest later, it's a good one. It leaves them wanting more. Send follow-up messages that aren't just polite, they are personal. Refer to something specific from your chat. Mention a book they liked, a trip they mentioned. This is the magic of callback bonding. Finally, maintain what she calls the platinum rule: treat people not how you want to be treated, but how they want to be treated. Section 8, Flirting, Attraction, and Romantic Magnetism. Romantic connection begins far before words are exchanged. Lowndes isn't shy about diving into the science and art of attraction. In her view, flirting isn't about being overtly seductive, it's about making someone feel uniquely seen and appreciated. Start with a sneaky peek technique: glance at someone, look away, then look back and smile. It's the visual equivalent of a tap on the shoulder. When timed right, it creates a spark without saying a word. Next is the eyebrow flash. It's one of the most primitive and universal signs of interest, a quick raise of the brows when you see someone you like. It's subconscious, yet powerful. Combine it with a genuine, slow-building smile, and you've instantly warmed the emotional space. But let's say you're in conversation. Lowndes' barely there touch is an understated but game-changing tool. A light touch on the arm or shoulder during laughter or emphasis can create a connection that words can't. And when it's your turn to speak, share romantic sound bites. Instead of the boring "I like movies," say, "There's nothing better than a late-night thriller, some popcorn, and the lights turned low." You're still talking about movies, but now, you've built an emotional scene. Section 9, Career Clout, How to Win at Networking Without Feeling Fake. Business communication demands a whole new level of finesse. Lowndes teaches that charisma in the workplace is less about bravado and more about being someone people trust, respect, and enjoy working with. First, the who's who memory hack. Always remember names. But more than that, use them. Don't just say thanks. Say thanks, Maria. You made that easier. That name drop doubles the emotional impact. Then there's the cabinet meeting trick. Before any interaction with someone important, mentally rehearse what you'll say, but more importantly, how you'll make them feel. Visualize the conversation going well. Your brain responds to rehearsal with increased confidence. When making introductions, don't just list names and job titles. Add a two-liner elevator boost. Example. This is Janet, she's the marketing genius who turned our last campaign viral. This makes both parties feel important. You've positioned yourself as a connector, not just a participant. In meetings, use the Midas touch words, phrases like "that's a brilliant angle," or "I hadn't considered that perspective before." These subtle compliments elevate others without putting yourself in the shadows. And the most powerful of all? The final word strategy? At the end of a presentation or discussion, summarize in one striking sentence that carries the emotional core of your message. That's what sticks. Section 10. Handling awkward moments, conflict, and criticism. Every conversation can have potholes. What separates the masters from the amateurs is how they recover. When faced with an awkward silence, use the repeater trick. Gently repeat the last part of their sentence as a question, giving them a cue to continue or clarify. It softens the silence without pressure. If someone says something rude or confrontational, Lowndes introduces the boomerang pause. You pause. You breathe. And you respond with a question instead of a reaction. For example, "That's a dumb idea. What makes you say that?" You've shifted the spotlight, bought yourself time, and shown strength without aggression. There's also the compliment comeback. When someone critiques you publicly or tries to undercut your input, you respond with grace. "You always bring a sharp eye to details, I appreciate that." You neutralize their attack by acknowledging the positive side of their comment. And what about when you mess up? Use the confession sandwich. Start with a compliment or positive statement, insert your brief apology or acknowledgement, and end with gratitude or optimism. Example. "I really value this team. I should have caught that earlier, thanks for pointing it out." Section 11. Turning small encounters into meaningful relationships. The people who seem most magnetic aren't necessarily the most talkative. They are the ones who make people feel like the center of the universe even in short moments. Lowndes teaches the bliss point rule: exit a conversation just before it fizzles out. This leaves people wanting more. Be the one to close the conversation with an upbeat remark: "I've loved talking to you. Let's catch up again soon." Then comes future planning. Before you part ways, casually mention a shared interest or event you might connect on next. It's subtle relationship insurance. Want to follow up? Use the spark memory message. Days later, send a text or email referencing something small from your conversation. It says, "I was thinking about you," but without saying it directly. When appropriate, sprinkle in public praise. Compliment them to someone else when you know they'll hear about it. It's 10 times more powerful than a direct compliment. Section 12. The Ultimate Communication Checklist. All 92 techniques in practice. To close this master summary, Leil Lowndes wraps up with a powerful consolidation of her 92 techniques. But rather than listing them dryly, here's how they come together in real life. You walk into a room. You smile not too soon, but just as your eyes meet someone's. You give a subtle eyebrow flash and stand with confident posture. That's techniques #1-5 in action. You join a conversation. You ask thoughtful, unique questions, not generic ones. You echo back key phrases and build on what others say. You listen more than you speak. Techniques #6-20. You're asked what you do. You give a punchy, visual reply. Something they'll remember. You include humor, if it feels right. Techniques #21-35. You navigate groups using your gaze and body language. You connect names with faces and make others feel known. Techniques #36-50. You make someone laugh. You pay attention to how they respond, not just what they say. You leave the conversation with an elegant, magnetic close. Techniques hashtag 51-75. Later, you follow up. Not with a cold message, but with a callback to something personal. You become memorable. You become someone people look forward to hearing from. Techniques hashtag 76-92. Final words, the power of connection. In How to Talk to Anyone, Leil Lowndes isn't just teaching small talk or party tricks, she's unlocking a deeper philosophy. Human connection is a skill, and anyone can master it. It's not about being loud, clever, or extroverted. It's about making others feel important, heard, and appreciated. Whether you're building friendships, finding love, or climbing the professional ladder, these techniques empower you to enter any room with quiet confidence and leave every interaction with a lasting impact. And at the heart of it all, a simple truth. People may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.